Four-time Madden champion Poppin here, and in this video I'll be breaking down how I win a majority of my games without the use of money plays. So before getting into some general advice, we're gonna discuss what a money play is. In my opinion, a money play is something that you could spam over and over again throughout the entirety of a game, and it's really hard to stop. There's no thinking of the play, right? You're just putting the routes on the field and you're throwing the button that's open. You're not understanding, or you're not realizing, what zone are they putting on the field? Are they in man, or are they in zone? Why is this working? Or anything like that. There's gonna be a peak level that you hit by playing like this, and hitting peak sucks, right? It's gonna be very hard to get over that peak. A perfect example of a money play is gonna be this trips tight end flex motion wide post. Play was so good throughout the entirety of the year. I even myself called it a lot, and I love this play, right? I really do enjoy this play. It's a great play, right? We have this tight end post that's so killer. You see this post just gets in that sweet spot of zone where it's hard to switch stick, it's hard to defend, it's hard to man up. You have a slant with a stock table route, it's gonna flood that space of the field. You're gonna see that table route gets open to the sideline. And then obviously you have this return route on the back end, right? This return route gets open late so much. This is definitely considered a money play. And here's the difference between me and a lot of people that call this play, right? They go out there, they put their slant, and they just call hike over and over and over again. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with this. You're gonna get wins playing like this, but there's gonna be a peak level. And eventually you're going to meet a player that's going to be able to stop this with ease. First set of downs, they're just going to stop you. And then what, right? What's your backup plan after that, right? You have to have a backup plan. You got to be able to think on the fly and come up with creative route concepts. Me personally, I do a lot out of this play, right? I will do a speed out on the solo side. I'll, flood the zones with a little flat and then an in. I'll go something like double streaks to, flood the cover 2 zone if they're running a lot of cover 2. So I know what I'm doing when I call this play. A lot of other players do not really know what they're doing. So as long as you have a basic understanding of what's going on in the field, what your opponent's calling, how to counter your opponent's counter, you will be fine. So by no means am I saying take out the motion wide post out of your playbook. Keep running it, but you got to understand that you're going to have to come up with more combos and be more creative and attack different spaces of the field that you weren't attacking before if you really want to get past your peak and get to that next level. Because pros are easily going to stop this play, or even above average players are going to have counters for this play, whether it be a blitz, great switch sticking, good man ups, whatever it may be. You have to be ready to counter that counter. Now to some of my do's and don'ts. So my first do I'd say is, especially if you're a newer level player, you're going to want to take your time. I understand there's master tactician, conductor out. There's a few place setups that you could call with conductor that would be amazing. But for the most part, I want you to take your time. Fully understand the route tree. Madden added this year a couple more routes that we hadn't had to our stock hot routes. Extra corner routes on our receivers, a post route now. You could just do a lot of things you weren't be able to do before. And then obviously you mix that in with a hot master, which is going to give you even more routes. You can have zigs, deep crosses for man, wheels. There's just a lot of routes that you could have. So I want you to stop being so reliant on the stock play setups, right? Motion wide post is a great example. It's a stock play. There's nothing wrong with that play, like I said, but there's so much more you could do if you fully understand and be patient with the route tree. There's going to be times in games where you have to freestyle, and this route tree is going to be your go-to to get those freestyle dots in. Another do is play with the stems a little bit, right? Madden also added another feature this year called the stem route. You could stem these posts or these out routes, whatever route you want to have, to fit the criteria or fit the depth that you want to attack. Like let's just say someone's running a lot of man coverage or cover 3 and you want to set up a cover 3 bomb. Well, we would simply stem this guy up all the way to really attack that cover 3 space. See right here? You're going to throw that cover 3 bomb. We've stemmed it up all the way and we end up scoring a touchdown. So that's a do for sure. Play with the stems a little bit. Understand the depth on them, how to really use them and utilize them, because they are the future of Madden. And lastly, I would just say attack the spaces of the field. We're not calling the plays because the route's on the play, but with the route tree, you could attack every space of the zone. For example, this is one of my favorite play concepts. It's super simple. There's nothing money play-esque about this. The play is PA snag found in the Philadelphia Eagles playbook. It's a great play. It has a backside post. It has this stock little hook route that sits in between the zones really nicely. It's play action, right? You're going to get a little bit more time when calling this play. So a setup I like to flat my receiver. This is really intended for people who hard flat, or sometimes will be lazy and leave this guy in a hook and not guard that side of the field. But let's just say they do hard flat. That's where you're going to have your tight end. The tight end is going to get in that little space of field. As you see right here, we are hard flatting. and the tight end, boom, gets in that space of field. It's a tight end slant. There's nothing money play like or money play-esque about that. It's as simple as it gets. On the back end, we have this, like I said, table route, hook route combo. You're gonna see if they hard flat, you just throw this hook route in that space of field. Like I said, there's nothing like a money play about this play, yet it's so good. Recently, when I've been calling this play in like head-to-head ring or in my games, I've been facing a little bit of trouble. The look that's been giving me trouble is this look right here. So you're gonna see this DT is in a hook zone, and then you're gonna have this linebacker hitting the B gap with the engage. The DT hook zone is gonna play the slant. We're gonna have our user on the hook, and we have our hard flats to stop, you know, any type of flat routes. And this is a look a lot of people been running. You see right here, DT hook zone just plays the post and the slant so well. It's very hard to fit that pass in there. People switch stick onto the DT and get stops. It's pretty crazy, honestly. So I realized this and realized I had to find a new combo that the DT cannot really get to. It can be hard for them to defend all the routes on the field. And I came to the conclusion that this route combo is pretty decent versus that. Like I said, nothing money play like this. Is super simple. We're using our route tree. But the only thing is we're on the short side of the field now. We're closer to the sideline, and our running back is on this wheel route, and we have this flat route now on the receiver instead of before with the running back on the flat and this guy on the hook. And you see the same look that we called previously. We're gonna have a little trouble guarding this play. We're gonna end up calling hike, and you see this DT's hook zone just cannot get to that flat. The hard flat on the right is, you know, occupied by that flat zone, and it's just an easy, nice read. We end up having this post as well with a little pass lead down. You could fit that in the between the zones and in that nice little space. And it's just tough. The user has to guard the slant alongside that post. If he wants to switch stick, the tight end will end up getting open. This is how I base my plays in run offense in Madden 25. I don't really look for specific money plays, this, that, or third. I just attack the spaces of field that they let me attack. And if they counter that, I move on to a different space of the field.